Sorry I didn't get out for a walking video yesterday. I just wasn't up to it. I woke up in quite a lot of pain. I spent all day yesterday just laying flat on my back. That did a bit of good because it meant today at least I can get up here and do a few essentials on the plot. Weather's okay, not too bad, it's warm enough, it's not raining, so just a few essentials. I'm not going to go overboard. And Chris and Helen, I've got some interesting allotment news that you might be interested in. I'd planned on going to Pegston Hills, Deacon Hill, yesterday. Somewhere I've been planning to go for months and months and months. It's beautiful up there, but it's very, very steep. You know, it's not somewhere to go if you're a bit stiff and sore that day. So that was out of the question. I just decided not to in the end. I did actually attempt to go for a short walk, which I never intended doing any filming on. I just went for a little walk down the far side of Bison Hill, out the back of Gadsden. But even that was a bit too much and I regretted doing it. So I spent all day yesterday just laying down, and then last night I slept for 13 hours. So today I'm able to get a few jobs done. I've had all my onions out, they've all gone. Let's have a little walk around, come on. Oh dear. As you can see, all those onions are out. Same with this bed over here. That was all onions and shallots, they're all out now. Now I took those home, I peeled them all, I diced them, and I bagged them up and put them in the chest freezer out in the shed. I think I got 17 bags of diced onions, and each bag equates to about 6 onions. So out there in the freezer, I've got onions for the rest of the year. Perfect. That's where the second early potatoes were. They're gone, they're long gone, they're finished and eaten. I need to have a think about these are my main crops, the Sarpomeras. We're getting a bit of natural dieback on the foliage. I've been a bit negligent in removing the flowers because, as you can see, we've got lots of these little tomato-like berries appearing. But these are all signs that they're very nearly, if not already, ready to harvest. Let's, I'm not going to bother getting the tripod out, let's just have a little fertile and see what might be hiding down here. Give us an idea. Of course, I don't want to leave them in too long, especially with the wet weather we've been having. Now that one was just poking up out the ground, so it's a little bit green at one end. But what a lovely baker, eh? What a beautiful baking potato. I think we've got some good sized potatoes down there, and I don't want to tempt fate. Let's cover them up, keep the sun off. I think next weekend we'll have them. I'd better prepare the shed, I'm going to need a lot of space. And I'll cut the green bit off. I think I might have a baked potato tonight. Nice. Right. Sweet corn is coming along better than I thought. I spent the early months of this growing season thinking, Jesus Christ, that sweet corn is just, I'm wasting my time with it this year. But it's coming along. There's a few cobs, they're not huge, but they're not a bad size. Go away. It's not been a good growing year. I'm going to do a video all about that. I'm not going to start whining on about it now. But in a few weeks' time, I'm going to do a video about this year's growing season because it has been horrendous, really. It's been the worst year I've had on this plot yet, and that's been 6 years. Carrots doing nicely, look. I did pull one up earlier. They're still very thin, very long, thin, skinny ones. So I'm going to let them fatten up a bit. And we've got some cauliflowers. Although they've not enjoyed the weather. This is one of the examples of how the weather's not done us many favours this year. I don't know if you can see there. I mean, I'm going to take these home anyway. Normally I'd freeze cauliflowers, but because they're a little bit weather battered, you can see they've got this slightly purple tinge to them. Oh, it's focusing on the net. Anyway, they'll do all right. They'll do all right. It's a shame. I could have done with more, and they could have looked a bit nicer. But they'll do. They'll do. Swede. Pathetic. We'll come back to that in another video. Right, let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look at the cider plot, because when Chris and Helen, my brother and my sister-in-law, were here with the two youngest girls a couple of weeks ago, Chris was showing definite signs of jealousy that I'd got this plot, and I felt sorry for him. He said, that's what I wanted. Because originally, I'll tell you, originally this allotment of mine, it was my brother's. He lived very nearby at the time, and he got himself this allotment, but they just couldn't handle it. It was a terrible state. I've shown you in other videos. You've not actually seen this plot, but I've shown you areas elsewhere on this site that resembled this plot when I got it. Believe me, what you can see now, it was nothing like that. It was unusable. And of course, when you got a wife and 4 kids all pulling at your jacket every 2 seconds, you can't really. But what Chris wanted, he wanted something like this where he could grow a few apple trees. This is my little cider plot, as you know. A few little apple trees. This is what he wanted. Well, Sue and Vern said to me, I think it was last weekend, they said, if I want it, I can have this half as well. And I said, well, I haven't got the time. I haven't got the time. I'd love to, but I can't. And then I did mention to Sue and Vern, well, my brother would love this, because this is what he wanted. He just wanted a little place where he could grow some fruit bushes, which are already here, stick in a couple of fruit trees. You've got an apple tree there, a cherry tree and a pear tree, although they're serious. Whoever planted those, I don't know what they were thinking. Look, who the hell planted those 3 like that? They're all just a big tangled mess. We can sort that out. But Chris and Helen, the offer's there. If you want, presumably Sue and Vern will give you the little shed as well, because they've got more than enough sheddage going on here. If you want it, let me know. I'll have a word with Sue and Vern, and that could be your very neat, easy to maintain little half plot. You've already got these raspberries and gooseberries and stuff going on. I mean, the girls were stuffing their face on these the other day, weren't they? Oh, Molly and Annie, I told Vern that you'd been eating all his raspberries. He said, you wait. He said, you wait until he sees you. Now, I need to point out to you two that Vern is a very good hunter, and he's fully licensed. And he's got rifles and shotguns and all sorts. So you might just regret stealing his raspberries, unless you can convince him that they now belong to you. Just a very, very quick catch up, because I felt a bit bad about not doing a video yesterday. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I don't just do these videos for the people that watch them. They're a major part of my life. I love doing these videos. And it probably bothered me more than it did any of the viewers that I didn't do one yesterday. But that's the way it is sometimes. My job has started to infringe on the things that I live for. And that's going to have to change. I have to think about that. Right, check out those tomatoes. Masses of tomatoes. They're behind the ones at home. They're only just starting to ripen. I've eaten 1 or 2. These, what are these ones called? They're not Tumbling Tom, they're... Oh, anyway, little cherry ones. I've been eating those. These are ripening more slowly than the ones at home. But the reason being is that it's just so exposed up here. We've had some chilly nights. It's been down to this morning, for example, 10 degrees when I woke up at home. It was probably a degree or 2 colder than that up here. It's just the way it is. But they're well on the way, and I'm going to finish this video with just giving you a quick show of what we've got growing at home as well. Now, comfrey, which I harvested a little while ago and started turning into tomato feed. That's growing back. It's getting its first new flowers. That's perfect timing. because just as everything else starts to die off towards the end of the season, this will be giving some really, really valuable winter stocks for the bees. I'll be getting all that nectar in to keep them going through the winter. I've got lots of lovely cucumbers, look, they're doing very well. Hanging down all over the place. Cucumbers and sweet peppers. Doing pretty well for sweet peppers. I could start taking these now, and I like them green. I don't mind them green at all, but Rachel prefers them orange or red, so I'm going to let them, and she, you know, I know what she's saying, they're a bit less bitter when they start to turn red. But again, same as the onions and a lot of the stuff, they're all going to get diced up and put in the freezer, and they'll go into any. I like to make, you know, I like to make homemade ready meals. Basically, is what they equate to. I'll make a big batch of stew or soup or something, and then put it into individual portions and stick them in the freezer. Anything like that I make, they'll be going in. Okay, there you go then. I'm just going to show you a couple of more bits and pieces when I get home. I've got a big old pair of plums. Nice weight on them. There's a nice big juicy pear. And now I'm back in the privacy of my own home. I feel perfectly comfortable with showing you my nice big set of melons. And the other thing we've been growing at home is these chilies. These are called Apache. They're all green at the moment. You can see there's absolutely dozens of them on each plant. They're doing really well. They're all green, they'll turn red. There's another load of them there. Loads of chilies. And these ones, I'm not sure what these are. Rachel's mate gave them to her. And they're these great big long, they look a bit like jalapenos or something, you know. Right, give you a quick show of the tomatoes. These are a trailing cherry tomato, growing in a basket. And they're delicious. Really, really nice and sweet. Been eating them for weeks as well. Getting a good crop off of those. These ones at home are a little bit further ahead of the ones up the allotment, as I said. Now these are yellow ones. What are they? Golden Crown. Little yellow cherry tomatoes. And they're very sweet. This is the first year I've ever grown or even tasted yellow tomatoes. But they're lovely. They're really sweet. They're lacking the acidic tanginess of a red tomato. Oh, they are beautiful. They are really beautiful. As nice as they are to eat raw, I suspect if you were to make a soup or something with them, if you tried cooking with them, they might be a bit on the bland side. I think you do need that tanginess for cooking. But as a salad or as a snack, they are gorgeous. And then we've got these ones as well. Nice little plum ones there. I think these ones are Shirley. And there's my outdoor melons, which amounted to nothing. See you later. See you later, Jonesy. And who's this little cutie? We've got a visitor. Little Mealy. Is it Mealy? Mila? Mila. Little Mila's come to stay for a few days. She loves it here. She gets a little holiday. It's a good girl. Cute little kitten.